The conditions that support a happy life on planet Earth are deteriorating rapidly. A financial Armageddon will soon be fought. Our current debt-based financial system is imploding as debt servicing costs devour an unsustainable share of our GDP. Taxation can no longer support government borrowing costs, and household interest costs are displacing other consumer spending. When the system crashes, the magnitude of the damage will be greater than anyone can now imagine. The crisis will return us to the laws of the jungle, the survival of the fittest, and usher in a totalitarian, dictatorial takeover of the entire Earth and all of humanity. The financial solution that they will attempt to force on us will end freedom as we have known it. An unelected, self-appointed global technate will create restrictive rules that we must all follow without question or resistance. Our freedom of choice will be limited to obey or die. Free speech is already being criminalized for allegedly inciting fear or hatred. We must prepare now while we can still communicate and organize freely for what is coming. Most importantly, we need a solid, agreed-upon, citizen-led plan for a new money system that will strip the financial and economic power away from the wealthy elites who disrespect us and want us dead. It will be too late once the crisis hits to prepare any alternatives. The chaos will be so severe that governments will invoke the emergency powers necessary to implement the changes they desire. The economic and financial new world order they are developing will make slavery seem like a holiday. Here are a few basic financial and economic concepts that you need to consider and discuss with your family and friends to prepare for what is coming. Free market capitalism no longer exists. Monopoly finance now rules the planet. We can do better than this. Life doesn't have to be this hard. We just have to get rid of the cancer of greed, self-interest, and dependency that we have allowed to corrode our responsibility and moral restraints. As a measure of value, money should be nothing more than a receipt for value added to society. That value must be genuine, socially productive value that benefits someone other than just the individual who creates or invents the value. Socially productive labor itself should automatically create new money that is denominated in the time actually taken to provide the labor. Contributions of socially productive labor alone would create the money supply. No government, bank, or corporation should have the power to create any new money. With this system of money creation, purchasing power always matches market prices exactly. There would no longer be any need for debt. When labor credits are spent, they are extinguished. They do not recirculate and cannot accumulate beyond the actual labor contributions of an individual. Businesses would no longer need their own money up front to pay employees. The money to reward employees would be created automatically as a credit by their contribution of socially productive labor. Businesses would also no longer need their own money up front to order external production inputs like raw materials, supplies, energy, etc. Legitimate approved businesses would operate on a custodial line of credit that tracks the value of the goods and services they acquire to produce. Like the credit lines we use today, each business would have a credit limit that prevents abuse of the custodial system. Since businesses would no longer pay for any labor or production input costs, they would not own the products and services that their workers create and would not be entitled to add markup, profit, or any subjective imaginary value added. Prices would simply be the sum of all accumulated costs as goods and services move along a chain of production, distribution, and sales. The only reason people are required to pay 100% of the value of durable asset like homes, vehicles, etc., is to sustain the artificial but profitable need for debt financing. Major assets need only be paid for at their actual rate of depreciation. Upfront money for down payments on mortgages would no longer be required if consumers simply paid the ongoing depreciation costs that their use of any asset, like a house, caused. Any vacant property could be occupied by anyone who agreed and had the means to pay the normal monthly depreciation costs that are based on manufacturers' product durability ratings. Assets would no longer be purchased or owned, they would simply be used. No one would own the assets that society creates together. Not the government, not the corporations, not even the workers who contribute a portion of the total cooperative effort that makes society run. Labor credits would enable workers to use any of the unused products and services that are available. Users who honored their promise to pay depreciation costs would have all of the same rights to enjoy their private, exclusive use of an asset without any fear of trespass or confiscation of the property they use. The total amount of money, credit, in society would always match production values minus depreciation. Without debt, interest and profit inflation would be extinct. Since everyone alive has talent and time, money creation would be accessible to everyone. Time is already a universal standard that cannot be manipulated by human greed. There are only 24 hours per day everywhere in the world, and it hasn't changed since the beginning of time. Money would finally become a stable, inflation-free, global measure of value that would eliminate the need for exchange rates. Please think seriously about these ideas. Yes, they are radically different from the monetary and economic systems that are now imploding. But that's a good thing. You can't solve problems by simply rearranging the broken pieces. When the economy implodes, we need to resist and insist on a solution of our own that serves the natural rights and interests of all living things. People matter more than money and profit, and the criminals running society now need to be arrested.